today's Britain, white, working-class men are losing their way.
We all work, you know what I mean? We're not just scumbags, but people look at us as if we're just thugs.
Many feel demonised, forgotten, and angry.
There's a lot of foreign people living in this town now, and it's just like demoralising. You're thinking, wow.
Fighting back! Fighting back!
I'm Professor Green. I'm a musician, a documentary maker, and I'm from a working-class background.
You know, you've already brought 3 kids up, and all of a sudden you're bringing up me.
Well, it was either that or have you put into care.
I grew up on a council estate in Hackney, and I have first-hand experience of growing up in a low-income family.
All the lock-up time has come to this.
Over the next 6 months, I'm going to follow 6 very different young men, each trying to make something of their lives.
If you don't pass your GCSEs, you're going to work on a building site for the rest of your life.
I've chosen them because I think their stories reveal a crisis at the heart of working-class life.
If you take rejection after rejection after rejection...
Will I go there and be looked down upon as a result?
Together, they'll show us what life is really like today for working-class lads.
There's days where I don't want to get out of bed, I don't want to see no one.
I want to understand why many of these men feel abandoned and what the consequences are for Britain if we continue to look away.
White working class, that's what
No, it's not. I'm doing a documentary. I haven't come here to call names, so don't tell me what I am. I've travelled the country meeting young men who, like me, come from white working-class families. I've seen how these lads are struggling to define themselves.
Everyone values intelligence, but does everyone value coming up from humble beginnings?
In this film, I'm going to meet 3 more young men. I want to explore how the crisis in working-class life is affecting fathers and understand the fallout on their families. Today, 29-year-old Gav is being released from prison after spending 16 months inside for cultivating cannabis. Gav, how you doing?
On my way.
What's happening, you all right?
Yeah.
There are around 35,000 young working-class white men currently in the prison system. Before Gav was released, I paid a visit to his 11-year-old son, Jake, who lives with Gav's ex-partner, Becky.
Hello, mate. How you doing? I'm Stephen. How are things at home?
Good.
Yeah? Do you miss your dad? A lot?
Yeah.
Jake was there when his dad was caught by the police.
They had posted up posters on my dad to be arrested. And for the police to come, the police was all surrounded by the back. That's how he got arrested.
But he took your money with him, didn't he, love?
Yeah, he still owes me £30, even more.
Can't wait for it back then.
It wasn't the first time Gav's been sent to prison either. He spent 2.5 of the last 4 years inside.
Are you angry with him?
Yeah. He's done it too many times.
What do you want him to do when he comes out then?
I don't know, I just want him to
Be around?
love me better.
What's the name of your horse, Jake?
Pebbles! Let's go! Catch the pony! Yeah, but I got him. I said
There are some parallels between my childhood and Jake's in that we both, I guess, felt a little bit abandoned by the person who we most wanted to be around.
As a child, my dad was in and out of my life as well.
Honestly, it makes you feel like shit. It makes you feel like it's your fault. You start questioning everything. Every time he didn't shut up, I'd cry, but then I stopped crying. And then I started to get angry, and then I pretended to stop caring. But I never did. What is really at stake this time if he comes out and he messes around?
Then that's it. I've made it clear to him, then that's it. There's no point in upsetting him anymore. That's it, it's not fair on him.
After meeting Gav at the prison gates, I took him for a fry-up.
What'd you fancy?
Full English. All the trimmings, I think, yeah. Missed it. Thank you very much, cheers.
Cheers. I met Jake.
He's a star, isn't he? He's a star.
He's proper. He's a good kid, man.
I mean, before I went to jail, I'd sort of had a broken relationship with him. I didn't have enough time, no consistency.
What are you going to do differently this time around?
Go in a strong bond with my kids again. I used to have that a long time ago, but being in jail, you tend to lose that. So that's a good catalyst to keeping me away from problems. The way the jails are now, yeah, it's set to rehabilitate you if you want to be rehabilitated. If you don't want to be rehabilitated, then you won't be. You'll be just straight back in jail again, doing the same old shit. That's just how it is.
2 lives are now at a crossroads. Jake is about to be reunited with his dad. But will fatherhood be enough to keep Gav on the straight and narrow? A dad's role used to be clearly defined. They were the breadwinner. I don't think you can really understand family breakdown without looking at the decline of traditional working-class jobs.
If I listen to stories of old, there's this quite a romantic image of the white working class, isn't there? You know, they were grafters, they were cheeky. But there was a lot of industry, and there was a lot of, you know, kids following in the footsteps of their fathers. There was a path that people followed.
How many more, Blinko? Number 30?
For years, we've been swamped by the stereotype of young, white, working-class men living off benefits. But what's happened to that old-school archetype, the grafter?
How you doing, you all right? Good. Yeah, good to see ya.
17-year-old Jake works as a labourer. It's a trade he shares with his 3 older brothers.
What time did you start today?
Well, I was out of bed for 6. So got here about 7:10. Found him asleep the other week.
Fuck off, did you?
He's full of it. He's full of shit.
What do you think people think about people who graft?
You know, people that don't get any GCSEs do manual graft. That's what people think. You know, that's what I've always been, you know, told anyway. If you don't pass your GCSEs, you're going to work on a building site for the rest of your life.
Jake and his brothers have followed in the footsteps of their dad, Graham, who built his construction company up from scratch.
How is it having all your kids work, yeah? It must be.
No one else employs them. I don't have to pay them.
What was your childhood like?
Work all the time.
Yeah. From what age?
Started on a farm when I was about 9 years of age. That's how we're brought up. You know, you want something in life, go and work for it. Jake's just a little bit different, wants to do something totally different to what we do.
Jake's ambition is to swap the building site for the catwalk.
What is it that makes you want to model more than do this then?
This job it's very set, isn't it? You know, you're not going to get people come up to you and go, oh, are you that builder that works on the building site? But if you are a model, it's being someone, you know, it's standing out.
It's weird, isn't it? It's a weird turn of phrase. He's just a builder or he's just a shop assistant. I think in certain parts of society there is definitely a lack of respect for people who do those jobs. Despite the fact that nothing would ever happen without people doing those jobs, they're incredibly important, and having a trade is nothing to be ashamed of. There's no appreciation. People are taken for granted. So it's easy to understand why I think, you know, someone like Jake would say, do you know what, I do want more than this. Because I don't feel like this is enough, I want more.
Similar to how I made my way through the music industry, Jake's making it up as he goes along. And much like my early tracks, his portfolio has a distinctly DIY feel.
So this is where the modelling kind of started, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Standing in the living room with a boxing kit on, you know, showing off.
So this is where the Mickey taking started
Yeah,
as well.
and that's when...
This one where the Mick got taken from.
I know, you know what, I know...
That one there.
I knew it. I knew he was going to pick that.
He made himself look a lot bigger.
He can't handle the fact that I'm better looking than him, okay?
Right. Was your sexuality ever questioned?
Yes. That's exactly what it was, you know, it was a lot of them comments.
Yeah.
I think secretly they'd all love to do some modelling, but they won't admit it.
There's going to be no looking back if this all kicks off, is there? Like, he's
That's the plan. That's the plan.
Does that scare you? Or?
A little bit, yeah. Because it's the unknown, isn't it?
Would you not have been all right doing what he's doing at his age?
I would not have had that confidence, no way.
Why not?
Because I wasn't brought up like that. There were so many of us and there wasn't that much money, so everybody you just did the normal thing, went to school and then had to get yourself a Saturday job. You think working class people can't achieve anything like this, so...
Why do you think that is?
Because I think it's always been that sort of stigma. It's only people with money and...
The opportunity doesn't just come round for everyone, so you've got to just snap it up while it's there.
I think there's a similarity in Jake and I by where we both wanted to achieve something out of the norm. You know, something that wouldn't be expected of either of us. I think the difference is he's definitely got a hell of a lot more confidence than I ever had.
It's a confidence which seems to know no bounds. Jake's recently approached one of the world's top model agencies. I want to see how far his ambition will take him. I'm more used to seeing men walking away from their families than taking on someone else's. I've come to Essex to meet 29-year-old Carl, who's recently become a stepfather.
Stephen, nice to meet you.
Carl.
How you doing?
Come in.
Hello.
Straight up there, mate.
He's not going to kill me, is he?
No, he's all right.
Carl lives with his fiancée Kim and their 3 children.
Who's his about over in the corner?
That's mine. I won it a few months back. Southern area title.
Yeah, you boxed all your life?
Yeah, well, I started it when I was younger. Started getting good at it, getting right into it, then just went down the wrong path, mixed with the wrong crowd. Started smoking, weren't keeping up my training.
Smoking weed?
Smoking weed, smoking cigarettes.
Anything else?
Yeah, cocaine. At one point, I thought I was Tony Montana out of Scarface. Just piles of it on the table.
Over the years, Carl has found himself in trouble with the police for getting into fights outside of the ring. It's only since getting together with Kim that he's pulled his life back together.
How did you meet each other?
Through my sister, actually. I spotted her from across the playground and that. Always went to my sister and that. So she's a bit alright. We went out that night and she said she liked me too, and it's like winning the lottery. I was like, results. I fell in love with her, fell in love with the kids. We sort of spoke about getting married and that. I thought, well, I've got a title fight coming up. End of the fight, I won, got me belt, got her in the ring, got down on one knee and proposed. Luckily, she said yes. She's an amazing woman, like, amazing mother.
It's lovely. It gives me faith back in the world again.
Carl doesn't have a template for fatherhood, as his own dad was absent for much of his youth.
How scared were you when you first found out you were going to be a dad?
Petrified. Your biggest fear is watching them go down the same path, make the same mistakes. You just got to dig your heels in, especially when work's a little bit scarce at the minute.
How come work's been so scarce? What is work?
I do roping for a living. It got scarce near Christmas. I'm still waiting to hear on a 3-month contract I applied for, but I've heard nothing off that yet, so...
When things get really sticky and you do get in a bit of a rut, how do you keep yourself up?
The missus keeps me up. If it weren't for her, I'd quite happily just go out, get a beer and be angry, basically.
Right.
Carl's fighting on 2 fronts. He needs to get back into work and also defend his prized Southern area boxing title.
What's at stake for you? What do you stand to lose if this fight don't go the right way?
I lose my belt. The kids love it. I think I'll be more disappointed seeing their little faces if I didn't come home with it than what I would actually feel inside myself.
There's this want to be somebody, doing something, fighting and winning. It gives you a sense of self-worth. But that suggests that before you become somebody, you're nobody. That's a working class insecurity, isn't it? Where does that sense of worthlessness come from? Why is there a whole class of people that have that feeling of worthlessness? Where does that insecurity come from?
It strikes me that the role of dad gives Carl stability and a self-esteem that's been missing from his life. But without work, I wonder how he'll keep his new family together. In Leeds, it's Gav's first day of release from prison, and he's preparing to be reunited with his son, Jake.
So how's things on? Are you all good?
Is there any special reason you're getting your hair cut?
Because it looks stupid, yeah. And obviously I'll have to go pick my son up now.
Do you know you're coming out today?
He knows I'm coming out, yeah.
Up until now, do you think you've been a good father to him?
Morally, my morals have always been there, yeah, but you could say outside box, probably not, no. I love my to bits, you know what I mean, so we'll see. This is what it's all been about. All the lock-up time has come to this.
You nervous at all?
Slightly, yeah, but I'll be all right in 5 minutes. Is that Jake Lawson in here? Hello, my boy. I missed you. You've been good.
Where's my £30?
Oh, no. I knew this was coming. I knew this was coming.
My money now.
Have you missed me then?
Yeah.
You missed me loads, haven't you? I've missed you
No.
loads. But I'm not going away ever again, all right?
Let me get on your back a minute.
Right, you can get on my back till I get out at the gate, and then you no, and you
No, you're so big.
This is what he needs. He needs his dad.
There's always a risk of sons repeating the sins of their fathers. But at least Gav has a chance of ensuring Jake doesn't make the same mistakes he did.
What was it that led you towards crime?
Funds. I were on a fairly low-paid job. It's all about trying to make ends meet just to support myself.
So it was a lack of money?
Because it's bad when you fucking go to work and you work and you work and work and work, and then you don't see no from it. You have one little party and you think, fucking, I ain't got enough here to get through a week here till next week.
How did the streams of income compare from your daily graft to growing cannabis?
Well,
says it all.
Yeah. I used to be out 90% of the time, being around in estates, doing this, doing that, getting involved in this. And it got me involved. I like the sign of having money at an early age. I think it's the area you grow up in, it's the people you knock about with. If they're doing it, I want to do it, I want some of that, I want a piece of this. Do you know?
Listen, I used to sell weed. It's not, you know, do I or don't I sell drugs? You don't ever really sit there and weigh that up. It's like, okay, I've got to do something to get money. This is something I know I can do. It's no different to any other opportunity when something is so normalised that it's every day.
I'm an ex-prisoner. I've just left your establishment on Friday, and I'm struggling to get hold of it.
As work's dried up, maybe what's been lost in men's lives is status. When Gav was involved in drugs, he was a somebody. How is he going to adapt to the anonymity of his new life?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get onto my universal job match. You know, searching just to open it up. You've got to access it, you know, as part of... I can't even get into it because they said they've sent me a password to my own email address. That was 3 days ago and it's not arrived.
Doesn't even give you a phone number to call.
I won't get paid.
You have to be logged in.
I won't get paid my money, so I can't even get in to look for a job and they don't know I'm looking for it.
Almost 50% of ex-cons re-offend within a year of their release. Gav has got an appointment with a charity who specialise in getting ex-offenders into work.
First thing we need to do here is set the expectations, right? Because for an ex-offender to get a job is bordering on impossible. So you've got to understand that the employers we work with don't take someone in straight away and bang him on 30 grand a year.
No, that's
not the real world.
I understand that, yeah.
What work are you prepared to do?
Oh, what's going to pay me at least minimum wage, so what I can
Right enough.
and give me enough to support my children. Whereas before, I hadn't ever had that.
We can help you. Then it's up to you to have it done, isn't it? You know.
The charity is hopeful of finding Gav a warehouse job for minimum wage. But it will be a significant drop in pay compared to his old days of growing cannabis. Unlike Gav, aspiring model Jake does have the security of full-time work. His dad's given him the day off from the building site to attend a meeting with his model agency.
Do you have any concerns about the world you might be making a transition into? You know, and all the things that you might experience, the parties, the travelling.
Yeah, and that is a worry because I'm not going to be there. Because he's the youngest as well, that's the other thing. He's my baby, and my baby's doing something completely different from the rest, and it's completely out of my control. And a world that I don't know of.
I've come down to Storm with Jake. I want to speak to the boss, Sarah, to find out how common his story is.
How are you?
Very well, mate.
Nice to meet you.
So where do you find these lads?
Oh, everywhere and anywhere.
Yeah? Does class play a role in any of this?
Absolutely not. I mean, when we find somebody, we have no idea who they are.
I mean, we have Nicholas here that's recently, we've recently taken on. I mean, Nicholas come from, you know, not the best upbringing, but he's turned his life around. He's just the New Look campaign. He's the South London boy that we've just sort of taken on. But again, come from working class family, we've taken him on.
There's quite a distinct lack of white working class though.
Do you know what? It's really funny. I think that, you know, your mixed race, these guys have got more gemutzvah, they've got, and I just don't know that white boys have got, you know, the confidence, if you like. Unlike people like Jake Swift, who's amazing, who's a young working class boy, and he actually went online, found us.
So far, Jake has mostly been doing unpaid work to build up his portfolio. And after a couple of failed castings, he's been called into a meeting to discuss his next move.
Hello. How are you getting on?
Jake's gamble could be about to pay off.
I've been talking to Bravo in Tokyo about representing you for the next couple of months, and they're really happy to go ahead. One of the things I will say about Tokyo is the working hours are very long compared to London. Sometimes you'll be on set for 12 hours. Like, they're extremely strict. You cannot be late. You can't go out and party. You can't be hungover. You can't, you know, be rude and difficult.
It is a big thing because, you know, so many days, 60 days, and he's the youngest.
Yeah.
How much is it, like, obviously not a direct number, but what could I earn up to over there?
Financially, it's hard to say, but anywhere between about $5,000 and $25,000. Okay. All right, lovely. Cheers, Kat. Thank you.
Seeing Jake on the brink of breaking away makes me appreciate the grounding that a closely knit family can give you.
Have any of your brothers been to Tokyo? Has anyone in your family been to Tokyo?
We go on English holidays. We go to Tenerife in Spain for a week in an all-inclusive hotel. We don't leave the resort. We go to see the entertainment at night. That's all we do. We've never gone, oh, you know what, I'm going to take a year out of work, I'm going to go travel. It's always work, 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 weekend, work, 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 weekend.
I've given Jake a camera so he can record his Tokyo adventure.
It comes down to stability, doesn't it? His dad has led by great example, isn't he? He's not bound by anxieties and stresses and worries. That grounding and that foundation has given him the opportunity to, to have the confidence to explore everything that he wants to.
A combination of good looks and solid family is giving Jake opportunities that his dad never had. But most working class kids have much narrower horizons. Gav's been out of prison for 3 weeks, and reality is beginning to bite.
With the financial strain, has there been any moments where you felt like going back to ways of old?
I could have gone back to that on Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. I could have done it like that.
The longer I spend in the lives of working class men, the more I realise that many of their struggles come back to the same issue: work. In Southend, Carl is trying to reinvent himself as a stepfather. But I'm concerned, as he's asked me to meet him at the hospital.
I was a bit dubious about showing up at the hospital. I thought something was going to be wrong.
Oh, no, she's pregnant.
Baby number 4.
Congratulations.
I know.
Come as a shock to us, I know. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's all right.
Today marks the critical 12-week scan. This will be Carl's first biological baby, but a 4th child to support, and he's still unemployed.
She don't want that umbrella. You want a boy or a girl?
There's not myself in my room.
Boy.
You frightened, happy, elated, scared, nervous?
A bit of all sorts at the minute.
When you think about it, what are you thinking about?
Whether I'm going to be able to provide a stable enough life for them all.
I had to look at all like food shopping and that, sort of try to cut bills down already so we could start saving up a bit more and be planned.
Baby's head. These dots are the lenses inside baby's eyes.
How does that make you feel?
Proud.
Okay, so I think it's not 100% because the baby is very small, but 70% it's a boy.
So 70% is
a boy.
Check the hands.
Looks like a little fist.
Yeah, he's telling me to keep me belt. He wants it when he gets out.
Little boxer.
Poverty affects 1 in 4 children in the UK. And for his family, Carl is the only potential breadwinner.
Has Carl been looking after you recently?
Yeah, he's recently become my carer and more to help support me more.
What is it that's actually wrong?
I have bipolar type 2 psychotic features and borderline personality disorder. So even when I'm having my moments, my strap-ons, and he sort of just deals with it, accepts it and carries on. He doesn't hold it against me, whereas many people would.
In my eyes, I'm just doing what any decent partner should do.
For Carl, getting a job isn't so much a lack of will as a lack of opportunity. Unemployment rates for men in Southend are higher than the national average, and work as a roofer relies on word of mouth.
What are you up to?
Not much. Thought I'd have a little catch up, see if you had any work on the go.
There's not a lot at the moment, yeah. It's not a lot at the moment, but it's getting better.
What's Southend like for work?
It's hard.
More workers than there is work?
Yeah, basically, yeah. But if he keeps doing it, he'll get there in the end.
Is he a good worker?
Yeah, yeah.
Any work available?
I'm not getting manager for you.
Yeah?
We're not taking on staff at the minute, but if you give me your CV, I'll file it and I'll get back to you as soon as anything comes in. We get you in for an interview.
CV down, mate. If you take rejection after rejection after rejection, starts bringing you down, you start thinking, am I cut out for this anymore? but you just got to grit your teeth and try and grin and bear through it. At some point, someone is going to give me another chance.
Seeing Carl respond to fatherhood makes me reflect on how my dad must have felt when I was born. He was 18, my mum was 16, but neither of them stuck around. So I was raised by my nan.
Hi, Nan.
Hi, Stephen.
Give me a cuddle. You alright?
Yeah. I'm shrinking.
So this was on one hand, one of the people who I loved and idolised the most, wasn't it?
Yes,
I did, didn't I?
definitely.
I really did. You know, working class pressures, money, stress, and God knows whatever else. And a lot that he endured in his life that eventually amounted to him taking his own life.
Yeah.
But you essentially were my mum and my dad for all those years.
It's only recently that I've realised how fractured my own family has been for generations.
Not made easier by the fact you had someone who walked out on you.
Yeah. He had another family. He was a womaniser, so that.
Your ex-husband?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he didn't used to pay for my 3 children.
There were times when we had to borrow money to get by.
Yeah.
There were, weren't there?
Yeah.
Stop kneeing me under the table. Come on, we're old enough. We're past it now. We don't have to worry about those things anymore.
We did have the gas and electric cut off because we didn't have any money, so just managed to feed them. That was about it.
I shudder to think what would have happened to me had my nan not stepped in. Without financial security, sometimes family is all you can rely on. Gav's been out of prison for 3 weeks and is still without work. I wonder whether he thinks he deserves more than is currently on offer.
Hello? Hello, mate.
Hi, Steve.
What goes on? Any update on Gav?
Well, we've got him an interview. It's for a warehouse work. It's minimum pay, and it's in Leeds, so it's not far from where he lives.
Sadly, he's declined.
I think his expectations are far too high at the moment. I think he hasn't experienced the knockbacks from employers yet, which he will definitely get. He's missed an opportunity not going for the interview.
He just needs to come back down to earth. The real world is that ex-offenders struggle to get employment and have to start at the beginning.
It's easy to have ideals and to say the right things and say you're going to do all the right things, but doing them's a different story, isn't it? And what's going to happen now if he doesn't find any work that pays him more?
When my dad wasn't around, my nan would often take me shopping, hoping that things would fill that parent-shaped hole.
This has got 16 gig memory. Yeah. So it's a little one, it's got a sticker on it.
Accompanying Gav and Jake into town, the pressures of parenting without money are becoming painfully clear.
I come today to do inquiring, but I want to make sure that I can come and pick it up maybe in 2 weeks. Can I put something down on it?
We can't do that now.
So she's got to be able to come in, can't put it away.
We can only do that for 24 hours, unfortunately.
Well, that ain't enough time, that.
Have you got your money in your pocket?
I ain't got it on me to buy that day. Otherwise I'd have bought it, wouldn't I?
Does it make it difficult when Jake's asking for stuff and you have to say, not yet?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, no, obviously things aren't cheap, you know, and it's the fact that it destroys stuff.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it's pressure, man. It's pressure when I've got to put my own clothes on my back to start with. And even that, I lost everything when I went in jail.
What Stephen Val will be saying is, you know, it might not be the job you want, but just for the moment, wouldn't it make sense to bite the bullet and take the work just so as you do have work and an income?
Why would I settle for just sweeping a floor, right, or putting doors in the corner of a warehouse, right? I'm going to have to struggle now, but I can wait, because now the next move I need to be needs to be the right one.
I worry about Gav turning down work. It seems that for someone in his position, his pride is in danger of turning into something less healthy. Entitlement.
I think things are a big part of where that entitlement comes from. It's like, if I'm going to work, I want to be able to get things. I want to be afforded things. I want to be able to buy stuff. I want to have nice stuff. I can't do that if I'm doing that. So why am I going to go and do that job? That's the battle, isn't it? And that's what's going to make it really hard for him to stay on the straight and narrow, I think, unless he finds good work, because that's all that's on offer. With the financial strain, has there been any moments where you felt like going back to ways of old? Or have you had any phone calls saying, hey, can you do this for us?
Yeah, on a few occasions. Do you want to come back out? Because it only takes that one thing what's wrong, one thing to go wrong, and that's it.
And you're on licence as well,
I'm on licence, yeah. No, well, he said to me, he said, if I ever see you again, third time for the same thing. He says, you'll be in top bracket. And that carries like 6 to 8 years, like.
If your dad went back into prison, would you talk to him again, Jake? You would?
Not really.
No. Nah? What's happening?
Mate, you
Hey,
good?
Dave. Yeah,
How you
good.
getting on?
Jake's back from his work trip to Japan.
Just about to board. Plane.
He wants to show his parents the videos he shot, and I want to hear how the experience has changed him.
Oh, this is, yeah. So this is
looks nice,
my
doesn't it?
first look at Japan was this. This was it.
So rough.
Oh, beautiful that looks.
Have a look at this.
Wouldn't you like to go there?
No. Why are you taking pictures of blokes' backsides?
I'm not, Dad. I'm not. That's me. I'm
the beginning of the video.
Trainers.
Jesus.
Who's that man there?
It's the stylist. So
Is that you?
that's me there. Look, and
People basically do everything for you.
on the building site, you get an order to do things, and here it's like I went to go tie my own shoelaces up, and they're running over. No, we do that. When you're on set, this is a boiling heat, and they've come up and they're fanning you, and I'll take the fan off and go, no, look, I'll fan you, and I'll do it back to them, and they don't understand. I don't like things like that. I don't want people, you know, doing things
They're not
for
your
me.
slaves, are
No,
they?
of course not.
No,
They're there
no,
to do a
don't
job
think
the same as me.
That's right, yeah.
You know? I think it's safe to say I'm currently loving life. Absolutely loving it.
He has to have got his confidence from somewhere.
He has got it from me. My dad's like that. That's about it, really, yeah. Have respect, have plenty of manners, and get on with people.
And work.
And work. You have to work to get, you know, to get in anything, haven't you?
When I see a father-son relationship like Jake's and Graham's, it does remind me of what I missed out on. It's really difficult for me to answer how important it is to have a good male role model as a father, because I didn't have one. You know, it's hard enough finding your own way as it is without having someone to show you how you're meant to be a man.
Oh, God.
And if I learned anything from my dad, sadly, it was how not to be a father. But that's an important lesson.
It's been 2 months now since Gav was released from prison, and he's still not found work.
Hello, mate.
Today is his son's last day of primary school, and Jake's childhood seems to be slipping away.
Last day ever.
Yeah.
You going to big school now?
Yeah, we're being
You
Woody
going secondary?
Riot. We're being Woody Riot.
Are you ready for your tea?
Yes.
Gav's been taken in by the mum of his ex-partner. I can't help but think how lucky he is to have such supportive women helping him pick up the pieces.
Yeah.
Has it got bullets in it?
Oh.
And then bullets comes in here and see what happens to that gun.
So he's starting to rebel a bit.
Yeah. Does he? It's a word no. He gets a word no. I mean, most kids do.
Has he heard the word no a little bit more since
Yeah.
Gav's been back?
Yeah.
A white rose gift card.
He's had no role model really in his life.
Yeah.
He needs discipline.
That must be difficult for him, because obviously before Gav came out, all he wanted was for his dad to be,
Yeah, to be
back,
there,
you know, for
yeah.
his dad to be there, and now his dad's there, but his dad's the one telling him no.
Yeah. Where they're arguing with each other. I think Gav would find it I think he thinks in his mind sometimes, is it easy for me to walk away? But I don't think he would. Do you know what I mean? But I think in his mind he might think, I might as well just go. He don't want me here. Do you know? Because he has turned around and says, I don't want you here.
Bloody hell.
You know what I mean?
Go get your thing over there.
You have to go down.
I'm relieved Gav's commitment to being a better dad seems to be keeping him out of trouble. But I do wonder what the future holds for both of them.
They were worse when he was younger, but I see a lot of me in him. Like, he's a lot like me with his emotions, with his behavioural patterns at the moment.
The rear up the street.
Life on an estate, you're starting to encroach into that life of crime, and I want money, I want fast money.
That's when you start making
fast
bad
money,
decisions,
yeah.
isn't it?
You make bad decisions because you're either pushed into a corner by peer pressure, or you make their own decisions yourself, and you make the wrong ones, or you get caught out.
Everything comes down to a lack of purpose and a lack of identity, doesn't it? And if you don't have that, what do you have? How can you head a family? How can you support a family? How can you raise your children without passing on those insecurities? If something doesn't change, generations are fucked.
Down in Southend, it's fight night for Carl. His fiancée Kim usually comes to all of his title bouts, but as she's pregnant, she's at home with the kids.
Normally when I get in a ring, that's normally my shutdown point. All that goes and it's about protecting myself. I think the only thing might pop in my head in there, which will help me out more if anything, is protect myself more so I'm there for the family. Before with me, it didn't bother me. I thought, I'll get hurt.
Yeah.
I'll get over it. But now seeing Kim and that worry about me getting hurt, it makes me think more about it. I think, should I actually be, I know I like to challenge myself, but should I actually be pushing myself that much?
There's something different about Carl tonight. He seems distracted. And I'm concerned his focus isn't on the fight. His family is clearly on his mind. For the first time in his life, perhaps he's realising just how much he has to lose.
Brooks! As a dad, can you put yourself through that again?
I need to think about my family now.
You got a little boy on the way, man.
I know. And I've got 3 beautiful kids already. It's not fair to myself, man, and it's not fair to my family. I'm gonna end up getting myself really fucking out. I say I've got the woman in my dreams. I always dreamed of being with a girl like him. Now I finally got her. Got great kids. It's not a giggle anymore, is it?
Fucking hell, mate.
And it's shit like that the kids don't need to see.
Carl may have lost this fight, but perhaps he's won a bigger battle.
We spoke a lot about the ceilings that exist for the working class and the lack of opportunities and the failings. As a man, if you have a kid, you know, the one way that you can redeem yourself is by taking care of a child that you bring into this world. Because if you're not there when I need you as your son, you're not a father to me. The most important thing is being there. And by doing so, giving that child the best chance he has in life of escaping the trappings of being working class. You know, by equipping him with the tools to do better in life. That's when you can call yourself a father. Not when you create something and fuck off.